I want this for Peter Kiernan. President-elect Trump tweeting about General Motors. This was earlier this morning, before he was tweeting about anything else. General Motors is sending Mexican-made model of Chevy Cruze to U.S. car dealers tax-free across border. Make it in USA or pay big border tax. Now, GM says Mr. Trump was factually wrong. Here's the quote from GM's statement. GM manufactures the Chevy Cruze sedan in Lordstown, Ohio. All Chevy Cruze sedans sold in the U.S. are built in GM's assembly plant in Ohio. GM builds the Chevy Cruze hatchback for global markets in Mexico, with a small number sold in America. What's your reaction to Mr. Trump's tweet, which he apparently got factually wrong?
Well, I think it was a shot across the bow, right? I do think that there is something to the important fact that 320,000 of these Chevy Cruzes are made in a huge plant, a sprawling facility in Lordstown, Ohio, that is made in America by Americans for Americans. They make about 50,000 by contrast in Mexico, most of them for foreign markets. They're hatchbacks. Most Americans don't buy hatchbacks. It's not a popular model. Now, what's interesting here is, what is Trump's approach? Is to sort of take these warning shots and fire and have everybody pay attention, because what's going on behind the scenes? What hasn't been reported very widely is that on January 23rd, that huge plant is canceling a shift.
And this in Ohio?
In Ohio. That's going to impact probably 2,500 workers. It's more like I'm keeping an eye. I'm watching you. And, when it's like Uncle Sam says, I want you, Trump is saying, I'm watching you. And what I really think is sort of interesting is he's not really pushing the needle so much as just reminding people that Papa is watching.
And a couple of hours after the GM tweet from Mr. Trump, Ford says, we're canceling that plant in Mexico.
Well, it's actually very interesting you bring that up, because GM is midway through a $5 billion commitment in Mexico. Ford had the opportunity to say, well, maybe we won't jump in right on the back of that.
I'm sorry to interject quickly. Obama administration fuel efficiency standards saying you need to get 50 miles to the gallon. That pushed the automakers to make these lightweight cars. They don't make any money on the lightweight cars, so they move their factories to Mexico as more cost effective, because Americans like the bigger cars. So
I like the warning shot across the bows and see what happens.
Yeah.
He does it all the time.
That's true.
All the time.